But what do you think about this? Booga booga booga!
Hello and Happy New Year from YCFT. We know the Christmas decorations are still up. They're going to be up for the next 2 videos. We filmed these, we batch record these. Just to make it less Christmassy. You can have his Santa hat off. Now we know it's not Christmas anymore. So yeah, 2023.
2023.
We're starting the year with a Scooby-Doo. It's been a little while now since we've done a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it has actually, yeah.
What was the last one we did? Was it Camp Scare?
I think it was Camp Scare.
Yeah, which I think at the time was
summer.
our highest viewed video, which surprised us, to be honest.
Really did. Not one I thought would have been as popular, but
yeah. But
fun.
We're back with straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. Try saying that 10 times as fast. This was
the
released,
crossover that everyone...
was released in 2021. This, as a child, this crossover would have absolutely fucking blew my mind.
It would have done. Yeah, it absolutely would have done.
And it's amazing how well the 2 worlds actually blend
yeah,
together.
I know. Well, it's like two programs about 2 dogs that deal with like supernatural events and weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't this happen sooner?
I loved Courage the Cowardly Dog growing up. I really, really did.
Yeah.
And it used to scare me quite a bit, actually, as a child.
Yeah.
And obviously I loved Scooby-Doo growing up as well. And this movie, I really like this. This sweet and charming is the best way to describe it.
Very sweet.
I don't think we need to get into the plot that much other than
Probably
starts
not.
on a traditional Scooby-Doo mystery.
We start with Scooby.
Starts off as a Scooby movie, and then through some strange events, the 2 dogs are pulled together and brought into this mystery in the middle of nowhere. And it very much from that point on becomes a Courage movie.
Yes, it does.
This whole thing is a love letter to Courage the Cowardly Dog and acts as a season finale for it, which it's really sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
And great cast. So we have Frank Welker voices Fred and Scooby.
Yes.
Got Grey Delisle, who's back as Daphne, and she voices another character as well in it.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, the cook.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Who voices Velma in this one?
I didn't get Velma's name.
Yeah, and
It's Kate someone.
yeah, Matthew Lillard is back
Lillard
as Shaggy.
returns.
The original voice of Courage.
Is Marty Grabstein.
Yeah, he returned. Thea White returned as Muriel. Sadly, this was one of her. I think it might have actually been her last film role because she died the same year that this came out.
Yeah, we lost her.
So it's also kind of nice. It's like getting to see her play this iconic character again. Different person played Eustace, but I think he's now actually the 3rd incarnation of Eustace.
Yeah.
He did voice him in an advert back in 2012.
Yeah, Jeff Bergman.
I think he did a great job.
Oh, he did. Yeah, I think he did a brilliant
There's
job.
so much about this that is very Courage. They got the house perfect down, the ooga booga booga, just Courage, Courage doing Courage things.
Yeah.
And you know, anyone who watches it, you know, right? Muriel has to get kidnapped. Eustace potentially is going to have something horrific happen to him. And Courage is going to try and explain something, and they're going to have no clue what he's going on about. And that basically just happens all the way through.
Just throw in the Mystery Inc. as well. And...
Yeah, I actually really like Scooby and Shaggy. They have an app on their phone which is trying to teach them how to not be afraid anymore.
Yeah, it's such like a 2021 thing to include.
But the whole thing is about
overcoming fear.
The themes of the movie is you don't have to necessarily get rid of fear. You just have to be able to handle it and show courage to save the people you love. Yeah. And it's a really nice message. But
it is.
Man, this is weird.
This is arguably the most batshit crazy plot of any Scooby-Doo film I've seen. And I think I said to you after it was finished, I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was very sweet, very charming. But I think if you take out Courage and if this was just a Scooby-Doo film, it would not have worked for me. The fact that Courage was there and we had Muriel,
I think you could take Scooby-Doo out of it and it would still quite work.
I think it would work as a Courage story.
Yeah.
But if this was just what we got as like a latest incarnation of a Scooby film, it wouldn't have hit that sweet spot for me.
Because you're in nowhere. And it's almost like a weird origin story as to why nowhere
is how
which is the area where Courage lives is so weird.
Yeah.
And Velma even says there's this is like the area of the world where the most weird things happen.
Yeah.
And
then Muriel's like, oh, it's nice to know we live somewhere special.
I love Muriel. I've always loved Muriel.
I don't know why she's Welsh. She's not. That was just my bad accent.
She's very Scottish. Because she's always just so blissfully unaware of what's going on.
Yeah, just baking her cookies, like just
Like,
you know.
I love simple things like when they introduce the mayor. Oh, I didn't know we had a mayor.
I didn't know we had
Eustace is
one.
like, I didn't vote for him.
Yeah, I know.
Why does Eustace have a musical number in this? Which is like, it's a play on Straight Outta Compton.
Oh my god, it's the most bizarre I mean, we've had musical interludes in Scooby-Doo before. How groovy, obviously, like, is the first one that comes to mind. But this was a bit weird. I didn't hate it. It was just very weird.
Yeah. So it's like, the plot is often special. It's on purposely weird. And the ending is very much like throwing references at us. But again, it's like, it kind of doesn't matter. You're there to see these characters. And there's a museum in the mayor's house, which is just a museum to the TV series. And I was pausing it, pointing out the different things that I recognize. It's been a long time since I've watched the entire series
Of Courage.
But I could point out a couple of big ones. And my favourite one was the one with the slab, Ramsey's slab.
Oh, yeah.
The return the slab, soften my curves. Scared the shit out of me as a child.
Yeah.
I
can see
watched
why.
the clip afterwards. I was like, it does not scare me as an adult.
No, but I can see why as a kid, like, that would...
It's because they used 3D rendering for it in that one, in an otherwise hand-drawn thing.
Yeah.
And it would look so odd. But it was quite cool to see that in it, just in the background. I was like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
If you've never watched Courage Carried Up before, I don't think there's much there for you.
There's a lot of references, a ton of references, in fact, that, will be...
Which is why I think it is just
lost.
a perfect, like... I think they said it was clearly written as a way to end Courage.
End Courage, which is nice. Courage ends up with a new friend, a new doggy friend.
Yeah, and they make Scooby talk a bit more in this one. I think when Courage really doesn't talk that much.
I noticed that. That was a bit... And, obviously, we're talking about Frank Welker. Like, he's... fantastic job, obviously very, very talented guy, but I did notice, I pointed it out to you quite early on, like, oh wait, we're getting a lot of dialogue from Scooby, and I think the more you hear his voice, the more just sort of strange it sounds, because like usually we only get a little bit from Scooby, but we get like full sentences with the guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously it's to make up for the fact that Courage is very inarticulate,
Yeah, he says the occasional word every now and then. Muriel.
I remember been saying that non-stop since we watched it.
We're looking at getting a Courage plush.
Oh, we are. I'm really gutted that we didn't manage to get it in time, but I mean...
Well, we watched this like 2 days ago. It never would have arrived.
It never ever would have arrived, but I mean, I'm kind of sold. I think we need to get one.
Yeah, because there's a pop of them as well.
Yeah.
But I just had a ton of fun.
I think that, one thing...
They would fret as well. Like, there's one reason we really like Camp Scare is there actually is a sense of fret.
There is, although I would very heavily say that Camp Scare is much more serious in tone.
Well, with them being human characters physically trying to kill them, this is very much a supernatural thing.
Yes.
Of a worldly thing in some parts as well. It's like, but there is a level of threat.
There is a level of threat, yeah.
Really interesting animation, because obviously they've tweaked the Courage animation, especially for like the house and everything, to try and match a bit more. But their two animation styles were very different. But I think they've managed to do their best to blend them together because, let's be fair, Fred, Velma and Daphne look far more realistic than Eustace and Muriel.
Yeah.
In terms of their body proportions.
Yeah. And
who's this film made for? Like, are they going to notice that?
Exactly. Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
Actually, that's a good question. Realistically, this movie is not made for kids. It's made for people like me who watch this growing up.
Who have the nostalgia.
Yeah, this is made for people in their 20s.
But which is interesting because I think the tone of it is very much geared towards children.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, bringing these two franchises together, yeah, it's for adults who are looking back fondly. But I think just in terms of the tone, this is not reminiscent of Zombie Island, of Witch's Ghost, of like any of the others that we've seen. This is clearly for kids.
Yeah.
Like the tone of it, it's very, it's sweet, it's saccharine, like the silliness of it.
It's got one of my all-time favourite dressing up and tricking the bad guy moments.
Oh,
because they're massive bugs, aren't they? I can't remember what they actually
Big bugs. I don't know the name of them, but yeah.
They are actually even like a proper...
Big-ass bugs.
Proper name. And they trick the bug into thinking it's joined
thinking
part
that
of
it's
the bug
an exterminator.
It goes on for so long.
Yeah, it does.
But it's one of my all-time favourites.
I love that. I've always loved that in Scooby-Doo. What I love as well is, I don't know how you describe it,
when they're running between the doorways.
Like, yeah, you've got a long hallway and you've got like 3 doorways on either side and the characters are just like zooming in and out. And then you get characters that aren't even involved in the chase just like going in and out of them too. And that was nice to me. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, really. I feel like every Scooby-Doo one, we always have to comment on how they do Daphne, because she's the one that seems to change the most. I really like how they did Daphne in this one.
Daphne fluctuates a lot. She's the one that does. I actually all of them sort of change in minuscule ways, but Daphne is the one that I always think is most noticeable.
Yeah, she's pretty badass in this one.
She is.
And
Yeah.
also, she's mysteriously now a mechanic.
Yeah.
Because we have a full-on car chase in this.
We do.
That's when Fred finds out that she's added like
A grapple hook.
a grappling hook. NOS, I think it is.
Project itself out of the mystery
NOS gas,
machine.
which something from Fast and Furious, and Fred's just like, what?
Yeah, and there's a scene near the beginning where she's got a like croquet mallet and she's just battering away the bugs. I mean, all right, Daphne. Okay, fair enough.
I really like this incarnation of Daphne.
I also quite like Muriel and Velma's little relationship. Because as soon as they meet, Muriel... I don't know, does she do this in the series? She tells riddles? Or is this just like a...
I think it's a big thing of Muriel just always misunderstanding the situation.
Yeah. So Muriel starts like throwing riddles at Velma and they...
Thinking that they're professional riddle solvers, not
mystery solvers. But they stump Velma and she can never solve them and she gets really frustrated with herself. She's like, I should have known that. I should have seen that.
I like how we even got Courage's computer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is... Obviously, it's a big part of the series, just this really old but somehow really intelligent computer, and they plug in Velma's iPad and they talk to each other. It's like, did they have sex?
Did they just have sex? Yeah, because there's like you can see on the screen like the line going from one
What's
computer
the USB
into
cable
another.
plug? It's like
that's penetration.
Yeah, are you sure this is made for kids? But I quite liked seeing it's like there's payoffs to everything throughout the Courage series.
Yeah, there is.
To the point where the ending feels a bit like he has everything, but it's like that's just what Nowhere's like.
Yeah, you kind of we're not going to spoil it, but you did kind of cotton on to the ending.
I knew who the bad guys were straight away.
Yeah,
straight away.
Yeah, it kind of had to be that way, I guess.
I love we got references like anyone remembers the episode where Eustace turns into a giant mouldy foot. There's a reference to that as well at one point, which is one of the grossest episodes, and there's constant references to the giant spiders, which is the one with famous episode with Mr. Katz in the hotel, which is probably one of the scarier episodes. It's a really early one.
Yeah.
Again, I've not watched these episodes in I feel I watched a little bit in uni when it popped onto Netflix. They put like 1 or 2 seasons up, so we're talking like 2012 or 2013 was the last time I watched any episodes of Courage, and it's there.
It's just always embedded in the brain. Yeah, it's like,
there's definitely some episodes that will stick with me forever from when I was a child.
Yeah, because they spooked you.
Yeah, because they spooked me.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if this was deliberate or not, but there is a character in the film called Frau Glockenspiel. So basically,
that's Grey Delisle.
Oh, that's Grey Delisle.
Yeah, that's who she voices.
Okay, right. So at the mayor's house, he has 2 servants. One of which is a butler. He's also like just the general like handyman around the house, and he is married to Frau Glockenspiel, who is the cook in the mansion. And every time Frau Glockenspiel is mentioned, there's a thunderbolt, and she just weirdly, fantastically appears, and she's the most scariest looking woman, like German, like the classic kind of hairstyle, like the Princess Leia hairstyle and everything. Really kind of ugly looking woman. And every time, she's mentioned, thunderbolts, and then she's there. And I had to get it up to show you, but I really do think they were playing on Young Frankenstein, where there's a character in that film called Frau Blucher, and whenever she is mentioned, the horse is Winnie, and again, I think there's always lightning that accompanies just the mere mention of her.
I am Frau Blucher.
Inga, may I present Frau Blucher? After you, Frau Blucher.
Now, I don't know if Young Frankenstein, if that was kind of copying something else that came before that, if that in itself was a spoof on something.
Is that just a spoof on when the villain is revealed?
Yeah.
Lightning. But when you showed me the clip, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely makes sense. I definitely think they were Young Frankensteining that for sure. I did enjoy this movie. It's just, I think my like personal preference, I think if I want to watch a Scooby-Doo film, a cartoon film, like I will always go for like the more sort of darker ish.
I think
I'm more like supernatural.
I'm more likely to rewatch this one just for that nostalgia.
Yeah, 100%.
The thing is, like, you watch Courage growing up, but I think I am clearly more into it.
I did watch it. I watched a lot of them. So I watched Courage. I think I dipped in and out of Courage. I maniacally watched Scooby-Doo. I watched a bit of Cow and Chicken, Ed, Edd and Eddie. Like the classic ones.
Yeah.
But I can't
what
really
about
remember.
Cat Dog?
Yeah, I think so.
weird.
but I can't remember specific episodes. So yeah, there is nostalgia that's there for me, but I don't know it as in depth, I think, as you do.
I'm interested the creator of Courage wasn't involved.
Yeah.
And they initially then offered the directing job to, I can't remember his name, but he is the guy who created The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which was a great show.
Yeah.
But he turned it down when he found out the creator of this show wasn't involved. This was apparently directed by the person who directed Zombie Island 2. Which we've been putting that off.
Yes.
But I think I just enjoyed how weird it was. I think it's been very much mixed how it's been received.
Yeah. I think so as well. But it's just a very sweet film. Like, I would watch it again. You know, if we have kids, I would absolutely watch it with children to like introduce. Well,
was that after we show them Courage and traumatize them?
After we show them Courage, after we show them Scooby-Doo, be like, hey, there's a crossover.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would be really nice to do it in that kind of a context. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a sweet, very short film.
But we
They all are, to be fair,
realized
though.
in research that the two creators of Scooby-Doo actually died in 2020.
Yeah.
Because I think this film and Sword in the Scoob, which I think is the other, because they usually release 2 animated films a year, and that was the other one that was released that year. They're both dedicated to them. This one is actually also dedicated to Fia White, who plays Muriel.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's nice that she got to play that character again. And she has a big presence in the film as well.
She does. I love there's a really sweet moment where Muriel is in particular peril and Courage just, finds his courage, literally, and he goes up against the bad
It's like kind of realizes that he's like, my name is Courage.
That's me. And then he's like, the things I do for love.
Constant reoccurring throughout the series. Yeah.
And then he goes in to save her. And, whenever they hug and, he just kind of like nuzzles into it. It's so adorable.
Yeah.
I love Courage. He's just, him and Scooby are great together.
I was like, again, this is my logical brain thinking, like, to me, Nowhere always had just vast lands of just nothing. But in this, there's cornfields at the edge of it, and it's weird because when at the mayor's house they show it's like, we're off, we're slightly like off the map, and they literally show like a separate map that has Nowhere. And it's like, well, how did they get there?
How did they get there?
To me, Nowhere was always just sprawling lands of nothing. That's me just be with cross. You've got to find a. It's like Freddy versus Jason. You've got to find a way for these two characters somehow
to interact. Yeah.
Interact. I really enjoyed it. I wish Fred had a bit more to do.
Fred kind of takes a bit of a back step in this one.
You get a lot of, because even to an extent, Shaggy gets a bit sidelined.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He is in it a fair bit, but it's Scooby and Courage, and let's be fair, that's what we're watching this film for.
There are some earlier hints at the beginning of the film, especially where Eustace obviously is like hostile to freaking everybody
it's Eustace
that he meets. But there are some like fun moments between him, Shaggy, Scooby, and Courage. Like the 4 of them together.
It's actually quite fun.
Like I wouldn't go so far as to say like they bond, but I mean they kind of get up to a bit of mischief together, which is like that was quite fun to watch. And also, I don't think Shaggy has ever been as relatable to you.
Oh god! And instantly, what's the line he says?
So he says, right, if we're always afraid, then by sheer logic, maybe we're never afraid. And that is David Gilly logic.
I use that phrase all the time for different things as a joke.
Different reasons.
You're the one dressed as Shaggy.
I'm dressed as you've never related to him as much as that. I even wrote down David Gilly logic.
Yeah. I was like, God damn it.
Can you deny it though? Like, can you say that's actually
No, I can't. I've always related to Shaggy in a certain way. I like food.
If we're always afraid, then by sheer logic, maybe we're never afraid.
Yeah.
If fear is just the baseline, then I mean, anything else is the exception.
It's one of the things that between these films, I'm not much sure how much of their growth follows between, but that seems like a big turning point for them.
Yeah, definitely. And there is really, near the beginning, now I'm just thinking about it, the chase sequence you were talking about, and there's a really hairy moment where Scooby and Courage are just like literally hanging on by like a sheer thread before they're going to plummet to their death. And there's just a moment where it cuts back to Shaggy and Velma and a couple of the others, and Shaggy is like tearing out his hair in panic and worry he's going to lose his best mate. That was really sweet.
Scooby and Shaggy have always been the heart of any Scooby-Doo movie.
They are the beating heart
Courage
of the whole thing.
Slipped in there. I like how Shaggy just calls him, little purple dude.
Little pink dude.
Little pink dude. Yeah, little pink dude.
Little pink dude.
It just really works.
Yeah, and Eustace is old angry dude.
Yeah, old angry dude. Fred's like, for most of us, I thought Eustace was going to be the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
And they all just love Muriel. Like, you notice whenever they're running, like, Fred always, like, kind of guides Muriel away from danger.
Yeah,
I really like that.
It's really sweet. Yeah, he's a gentleman. Yeah, it was a very sweet little movie, but it's definitely, out of all the ones that we've seen thus far, definitely the one geared more towards little ones.
Yeah.
For sure.
But to be honest, I want to rewatch Courage now.
I would happily.
I really want to.
Again.
Just, yeah, it made me feel like a child again.
Yeah.
And that is such a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's kind of the similar feeling I get when I rewatch something like Zombie Island.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff that was out around the same times, takes you back to that moment in time.
Yeah.
But the same if I watched something like Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Yeah.
It's a very, very specific point in time.
Yeah. Just instantly kind of takes you back to a particular moment.
I can't think of anyone else, because I know Scooby's not new to crossovers.
No?
He's crossed over with everybody.
Including Batman.
Batman, Dracula, WWE.
Yeah.
Apparently that was a weird one. I've not seen any of that.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
But, yeah.
I can't think of anyone else now for Courage to cross over with that would have this type of nostalgic effect.
Yeah.
And it's apparently this was actually pitched as an episode of Scooby-Doo Guess Who, which I think was like 2019. But I'm assuming they saw it was too good of an idea not to just make a film out of.
Yeah.
Because that's massive. Like, we brought Courage back. He's not been around for years.
Yeah. I think it works as a movie.
Yeah.
It's a short film, as most of the cartoon films
but it's
are.
It is a feature length.
Feature length, but yeah.
You got any more notes on this?
No, I don't think so.
It's a very sweet film. If you enjoyed Courage, you'll really like this, and it's just an interesting addition to our little growing Scooby-Doo collection.
Yes, which is definitely growing.
We have 4.
We have 4. Is that?
That's all.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all. All the ones we have on physical media. I don't have the live action ones.
No.
Yet, but the next one we are doing is
Reluctant
Werewolf.
Reluctant Werewolf. It's one of my favourites.
It's not next week, but it is.
It's
coming.
on the
It is coming.
horizon for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
So Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah.
What movies are you excited for this year? Because New Year, new movies.
New Year, new movies.
Who should Scooby-Doo crossover with next?
Yeah.
But, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we will see you next week.